So the same thing, Laura. I personally know who you are and where you're from. And I guess everybody else knows it as well. But the people who are watching this probably don't really know where you are and who you are. Please, could you tell us something about you?
All right. So I am from the Netherlands. I would say I'm from the region of Rotterdam. Yeah, I still do a lot of music things, all sorts of different kinds of music things, which I love to do. And during the day, my day job is I'm actually a coach at a organization that makes talking books. I think you call them in English, or
Audiobooks?
spoken books. Yeah, audiobooks or talking books for people that can't read themselves.
So, and I know that you also play the piano. Do you still play the piano from time to time or all the time?
Well, sometimes. The main focus has been on voice for the past 15 years, I think now. I do dabble still. I still sometimes, just play along for myself because it's easy to play the piano while I practice things. But it's not my main instrument anymore.
Do you play another instrument except for piano and singing?
No, I've been taught a bit of rhythm and a bit this and that, but more than a couple of basic things is about what I can do.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we also met on the Aryan Forum in 2005, 6, something like that, I guess, right? So you probably were the first person to sing on the first album, and it was Ship of the Moon, I guess. So it's,
Yes, I think it was.
yeah.
If I recall correctly, I had actually, thanks to the Arion forum, I just made a demo of a couple of songs of mine, and I think I posted them online.
You're right.
And I'm guessing that's when either I contacted you or you contacted me. Either way, I don't entirely remember.
Yeah.
And then I recorded that with very crappy recording stuff because I didn't have any recording equipment at the time. I had like a very crappy microphone and a computer, and that was it.
You won't believe, but I could tell it wasn't a really good microphone.
I still have the microphone that I bought like later because I was doing more live performances as well, and at some point I just needed a decent microphone. I think I might have actually recorded the first version of that with a very crappy computer microphone.
Yeah, I guess we re-recorded everything several times before we then finalized it here at my place, right? Yeah.
That was a lot better.
Yeah.
At your place.
Pretty good, actually. So I listened to it just recently, and the recordings are awesome. And I noticed you are singing so precisely that I'm always have to check if it's the same track that I just copied, because it's very, very precise. So that's something. So, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So what did you think? Did you think we would record a complete album, and then would you imagine there would be a second album with your character appearing again? So what did you think of it in the beginning?
In the beginning, at first I thought it was just going to be one song, the Ship of the Moon song, and then you started talking about an album. I was like, yay, there's going to be an album. And when we finished the album, I wasn't sure if there was going to be more or not. Not because there wasn't a story. I think there was a lot of story, and there's still more story to tell. So when I just heard you say that there might be a next album, I'm interested. But I wasn't sure. I also didn't know. I was hoping I could join again because I really like the project in itself. I really like the story and the characters that you've made. So in that sense, I was hoping for more, but I didn't know at the time.
Yeah, I guess I didn't know either. So I remember that the first idea for the second album already appeared sometimes right after the first album in 2014, I guess. I was sick. I had surgery on my leg because I was bitten by my cat. And I woke up one morning. I just woke up with from Shimon, and I just I stumbled to my computer and just played the stuff on the keyboard. That's how this happened.
So we should thank your cat for
Yeah, well,
Inviting you.
Inviting you.
yeah, well, yeah, thanks, but no thanks. We don't need it again. So did you also read the books? Maybe?
I think you actually gave me, or either you gave me or you sent
Oh,
me
I
the
sent one. Yeah, I think I
first
sent one.
English book,
Yeah.
and I had kept it. But very similar to the story that Cheryl just said, when we moved, we had a bit of a leakage in our storage. And
Oh.
I think, if I correctly remember, that I still have it, but it's not in a very
it's
good state
larger
anymore.
now.
It's larger now, yeah. But now that you told me that there's actually more translations, I look forward to reading more parts of it because I really enjoyed reading the book in itself. I do like sci-fi, so I really don't mind reading more of that. I'm looking forward to that.
Sure. Have you recorded Teladi or Elena Kho maybe for
No,
EgoSoft?
no, I do have to say that when I told Jochem about the X Games, he actually told me that he played them
Mm-hmm.
like ages before we met even.
Mm-hmm.
He is a gamer and I'm not very much, so I didn't know about these games at all. And he started, yeah, it's a very big game and everybody plays it and spaceships and whatnot. I was like, okay, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
But I hadn't played it.
Yeah.
No idea.
But have you seen it at least? Did
He
you?
might have shown me like screenshots,
Okay.
like or a Wikipedia page or something at the time when
Yeah.
I told him about it, but not really after that. No.
So, can you tell something about your favorite music and why it is Aryan?
Well, I have to say that my music's flavors are quite eclectic, and ever since I joined the Civilized, which is a musical trio I'm in, I've mostly veered into more acoustic music. So a bit of Americana, a bit of folk, a bit of just easy listening singer-songwriter music, that sort of things. And also I joined a musical group last 2 years ago now, which made me get back into the musical songs as well. So I have a very broad flavor in music.
Question is, would you like to be a person like Elena, a Star Warrior, zipping through the universe and being cool and badass? What do you think?
Well, doesn't anyone?
I don't.
Yes, of course. Oh, yes, I think it would be great to have a life like her, though I don't think I have quite as much guts as she does. Just jumping into an airplane and going through something and not knowing where she ends up. So she's quite a bit more warrior than I am. But yeah, I think she has a very interesting life and she meets a lot of interesting people, which is something I definitely admire.
How did you go about the technical aspects of your recording? Do you have a corner for recording? Do you have a computer, a laptop, or I guess how did you do it?
Because of COVID, last year I had to refigure a couple of things. Also to be able to rehearse online with some other ones. So I bought a little tiny Steinberg audio device that you can use as a sound card basically. And I connected that to my iPad and I connected a microphone into that and I sent you those. At first I tried it in my old house within a closet sort of, which was really tight and didn't work very well. But then we moved into the new house and the closet there was a little bit bigger, thankfully. So I put everything in there and I was standing like sweaters on the one side and jackets on the other side. Like me in between with a microphone before the wall. There was actually no room for that. So that's how I recorded. I currently now, we had a lot of rebuilding done, so now I actually have a room, the one that I'm sitting in right now, that I can do recordings with, but I still would do it on the iPad with the little Steinberg thingy, and it's actually quite mobile, so that's really nice.
I think you probably used GarageBand, didn't you? Or is it GarageBand? I'm not quite sure if it's Garage or Garage.
Yeah, it's either or. I hear people using both, but yeah, I use
Depends on where you're from, I think.
GarageBand.
So I'm not.
It's that one.
Thanks, Melanie. Sounds delicious. Can you also pour me one? Thank you. So, what kind of problems did you encounter while recording, except for the narrow space? I guess we also had some problems in communications about which parts to sing, and then you decided to simply sing all the parts, so we could decide later, right?
It's possible. I don't necessarily recall having like really problems or some such. I think the lyrics that you sent with the little letters and everything was quite okay. And then there was also the comment that, well, if you want to do more, you can do some more. And I generally kind of jump on that sort of thing. So I tend to do too much.
So I hope you're not too disappointed that the things you recorded in Day of the Black Swan and at the ending that they didn't make it in the final song. So
I was a little bit
yeah, I figured. I'm sorry.
I heard it yesterday. I was like, you skipped that little thing. But I mean, it's your album.
When you were here many years ago, we talked all the time about science fiction, all the time. So it's like you're a walking science fiction aficionado. So are you? Are you that?
Well, at my work, because we work with books, I am the one person that can actually speak for fantasy writers. There's not many people at my work, even though we have like almost 200 people working there, that actually like fantasy novels, and I do. So yeah, not one to pick up the newest one as soon as it comes out or anything. And I'm more into fantasy than sci-fi, really, but I do like to read about that stuff. And I also watch quite a couple of series on TV together with Jochen because he also really likes sci-fi and space stuff and everything.
Is it more The Mandalorian or The Expanse for you?
Well, we've been watching The Expanse, and Jochen is a very big fan of that one. I think it's a bit too depressing sometimes.
Yeah, it's a bit
It can be
dystopian,
it can be a bit movie,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
But I think it's made very well. So I highly appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
The skill and the time that went into that is really good. So
Yeah. Awesome. And that was actually the last question for you I have on my laptop here. Okay, so then thank you very much.